Welcome to our channel. Today, we're going to be diving into Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
This book is a classic for a reason. It's packed with insights from hugely successful people like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison.
Right.
And it lays out this whole philosophy for achieving your goals, whatever they may be.
Yeah, and what I think is so fascinating about this book is how Hill goes beyond just, the typical like positive thinking stuff.
Right.
He really spent years, interviewing all of these like titans of industry, really dissecting their mindsets and their habits.
Yeah.
And what he discovered is that success leaves clues. And Think and Grow Rich is like a treasure map to those clues.
Okay, so let's unpack this treasure map a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
One of the first things that jumps out at me when I was reading this book was Hill's emphasis on desire. And he's not talking about just wishing for things.
Right.
He's talking about this like burning, focused desire.
Yes.
Like he tells that story about Edwin Barnes, who
Yeah.
was just dead set on working with Thomas Edison, not just for him.
Yes, and that distinction is so key, right?
Yeah.
Like Barnes didn't even know Edison personally, like showed up at his lab practically penniless, but with this unwavering determination.
Right.
And it wasn't his skills or experience that got him in the door. It was the sheer force of his desire.
It's almost like Edison could sense that intensity. Like he knew this guy was serious.
Absolutely.
It makes you wonder, how often do we let our own desires fade because we think they're too ambitious or impossible?
Right, we limit ourselves by
Yeah.
thinking small.
Well,
And Hill doesn't sugarcoat it, Achieving big goals takes effort, persistence, even facing setbacks,
right.
He talks about Darby, this insurance salesman who had previously tried his luck in gold mining.
Darby's story is a tough one. He gave up digging for gold just 3 feet from striking it rich.
I know. It's crazy.
Can you imagine that frustration?
Talk about a missed opportunity.
Oh my gosh.
But here's the thing. Darby learned from that experience.
Yeah.
He took that lesson about persistence and applied it to his sales career, vowing never to give up again, even when faced with rejection after rejection.
It reminds me of that quote, "Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall."
Yes.
Hill argues that failure is often a stepping stone, a test of our commitment.
Absolutely. And it's not just about, gritting your teeth and powering through. He emphasizes the importance of faith, a deep-seated belief in yourself and your ability to achieve your goals.
Right. And speaking of faith and belief, if you're looking for more inspiring content on personal growth and the power of the mind, be sure to check out Affirmify Journey on YouTube. They have a fantastic collection of videos that delve deeper into these topics.
Awesome.
But back to Think and Grow Rich. Hill uses this really personal example to illustrate the power of faith. The story of his own son who was born deaf.
Yeah, this story is incredible. Hill refused to accept his son's limitations. He instilled in him this belief that he could hear, and through persistent autosuggestion, basically repeatedly affirming his desire, his son's hearing gradually improved.
It's a testament to the power of the mind-body connection, right?
Absolutely.
But how does someone actually do autosuggestion?
Yeah.
Is it like meditation or something?
Yeah, think of it as consciously planting seeds in your subconscious mind.
Okay.
Hill provides specific techniques like writing down your goals, visualizing them, repeating affirmations. It's about aligning your thoughts and beliefs with what you want to achieve.
So it's not just about positive thinking. It's about actively shaping your subconscious mind. That's pretty powerful stuff.
Yes, it is.
Hill also talks about the importance of specialized knowledge, basically acquiring the right knowledge for your goal.
Yeah.
And he points out that knowledge is readily available, often inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
What matters is knowing what knowledge you need
Right.
and where to find it.
Right.
And he shares the story of Stuart Austin Weir, who successfully switched careers during the Depression by studying law and becoming a corporation lawyer.
Yeah.
That's such a great example of adaptability.
It is.
It shows that we're not limited by our past experiences. We can learn new skills, reinvent ourselves, even in challenging times.
Totally.
Hill also emphasizes the importance of the mastermind.
Yes. This is a cornerstone of his philosophy.
Right.
He argues that surrounding yourself with supportive and like-minded people, a mastermind group, can provide invaluable insights, perspectives, and accountability.
It's about harnessing the collective intelligence and energy of a group.
Yes.
Like, we can achieve so much more when we work together, leveraging each other's strengths,
Absolutely.
supporting each other through challenges.
Think of it as a synergistic force multiplier for your goals.
I like that.
Ah,
Okay, now this next concept is one that Hill approaches with a lot of sensitivity, the idea of transmuting sexual energy.
okay.
Okay, this is the one I've heard people talk about the most, but always kind of vaguely.
Right.
What exactly is he getting at here?
So Hill observed that many successful people have strong libidos
Okay.
and suggested that this energy, if not expressed in a, let's say, traditional way, could be channeled into other creative pursuits.
So instead of letting it control you, you're harnessing it, directing it towards your goals. It's like redirecting a powerful river to power a city, like you were talking about earlier.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Of course, it's important to approach this concept with nuance and understand the historical context in which Hill was writing.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a concept that requires careful consideration and self-awareness.
For sure.
But shifting gears a bit, Hill also dives into these like primal fears
Yeah.
that can hold us back.
Mm-hmm.
He lists out 6 of them:
Okay.
fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death.
Oh, wow.
Pretty heavy stuff.
Heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't just list them out to scare us, though. Hill provides strategies for overcoming these fears,
Okay.
arguing that understanding their root and consciously replacing them with faith and courage
Right.
is essential for growth.
So it's like acknowledging those monsters under the bed,
Yes.
but then figuring out how to shine a light on them so they can't scare us anymore.
I love it.
But how do we actually do that?
Yeah, so Hill suggests several techniques: analyzing our fears, understanding where they stem from, and then actively challenging them with positive affirmations and actions.
Okay.
It's a process of replacing fear-based thinking with faith and courage,
Right.
believing in ourselves and our ability to overcome challenges.
It's about taking control,
Right.
not letting fear dictate our choices.
Exactly.
And that leads perfectly into another key principle.
Mm.
Hill emphasizes decisiveness.
Yes.
He argues that successful people aren't afraid to make decisions and commit to them.
Absolutely. They don't get bogged down in endless analysis or second guessing.
Right.
He uses those amazing stories of John Hancock and Samuel Adams during the American Revolution to illustrate this point.
Oh, yeah, those guys were signing the Declaration of Independence, knowing they could be hanged for treason.
Right. Talk about a high-stakes decision.
Talk about a high-stakes decision.
Yet they didn't waver. They believed in their cause, made a choice, and that decisiveness had a ripple effect that changed the course of history.
Wow.
It underscores how even seemingly small decisions can have a huge impact.
It makes you wonder, how many times do we let fear or indecision paralyze us,
Right.
preventing us from taking those leaps of faith?
Yeah. Hill-attempt indecision is a habit,
Okay.
often ingrained in us from a young age.
Mm-hmm.
He even criticizes the education system for not teaching decisiveness as a vital skill.
That's true. We're taught so many facts and figures,
Yeah.
but not necessarily how to confidently make choices when faced with uncertainty.
Right.
Now, this last principle Hill explores is really intriguing. He talks about capital as the unsung hero of society.
Interesting.
Yeah, he challenges the often negative perception of capitalists and argues that organized capital, when used ethically and responsibly,
Right.
is actually essential for progress and opportunity.
I see.
It's about understanding that capital is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It can be used for good or for ill, depending on the intentions and actions of those wielding it.
Right.
Hill urges us to develop a deeper understanding of how capital works.
So it's about financial literacy.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
He highlights how capital drives innovation, creates jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately improves the quality of life for everyone.
Okay.
Even something as simple as buying a cup of coffee involves a complex network of capital and human effort.
Wow.
It's easy to take those things for granted,
Right.
but there's a whole system at play behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Hill encourages us to think critically about the role of money in our lives
Mm-hmm.
and to challenge any preconceived notions we might have about wealth.
Okay.
He reminds us that while the pursuit of financial abundance is important, it should be done with integrity and a commitment to contributing to the greater good.
Yeah.
He cautions against the pitfalls of greed and materialism.
Right.
It's about recognizing that true wealth encompasses more than just financial abundance.
For sure.
Now, before we wrap up this dive into Think and Grow Rich, we need to talk about one more crucial principle Hill explores: overcoming negative influences.
Oh, that's a big one.
This is such a relevant topic, especially in today's world, where we're constantly bombarded with information and opinions from all sides.
Yes.
Hill dedicates an entire chapter to this, calling it the Devil's Workshop.
Wow.
He doesn't mince words, does he?
He does not.
But he's got a point. We're exposed to negativity everywhere, from external sources like the news and social media, and even from our own internal self-talk.
It's true.
And Hill argues that successful people have developed a sort of mental shield against this negativity.
Okay.
They don't allow it to take root and fester. They understand the importance of guarding their thoughts.
I see.
It's about choosing to focus on the positive, to cultivate a mindset that supports growth and achievement.
So how do we do that?
But how do we actually do that?
Yeah.
Hill suggests we become more discerning about the information we consume, the people we spend time with, and even the thoughts we allow to linger in our minds.
Okay.
We have the power to choose what we focus on, and that choice has a profound impact on our reality.
It's powerful.
So it's not just about positive thinking. It's about consciously curating our mental environment. That takes effort and discipline.
Absolutely. Hill provides practical tips for cultivating a positive mental attitude,
Okay.
including affirmations, visualization, and surrounding ourselves with supportive people.
Right.
He even suggests developing a personal constitution,
Okay.
a set of guiding principles that help us stay true to ourselves and resist negative influences.
That's a powerful idea. Creating a framework for our thoughts and actions.
Yeah,
That helps us stay aligned with our goals and values. It's like building a fortress for our minds, right?
exactly. And this ties back to the importance of self-discipline. It's
Right.
about consciously choosing to feed our minds with positivity
Mm-hmm.
and to reject those thoughts and influences that don't serve us. Hill believed this kind of mental discipline is essential for achiever success and living a fulfilling life.
Yeah, it's like we're the gatekeepers of our own minds responsible for deciding what we allow in. And that reminds me of another point Hill makes, that we can't just be robots running on logic alone.
Right.
Our emotions play a huge role in our success, too.
Absolutely. He talks about this concept of sex transmutation,
Right.
which admittedly can sound a bit out there at first.
Yeah, that one definitely caught my attention.
Yeah, it's important to consider the context of Hill's time. But what's fascinating is the underlying idea this powerful primal energy can be channeled.
So instead of letting it control you, you harness it, almost like redirecting a river to power a city.
Exactly. Hill suggests that this energy can fuel creativity, drive, and ambition.
Which circles back to that concept of self-mastery we were discussing earlier.
Yes.
It's about being in control, not letting impulses run the show.
Precisely, he observed that many highly successful people have a strong sex nature, but they've learned to transmute that energy into productive pursuits.
Whether or not you agree with all of Hill's interpretations, it raises an interesting question. How can we better understand and manage our own emotions, especially the powerful ones, to help us achieve our goals?
That's a great question, and one that Hill explores further when he delves into the negative emotions, particularly fear. He goes so far as to call fear a crippling evil.
And he doesn't just leave it at that. He actually lists out 6 basic fears that he believes hold people back. Fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. Pretty heavy stuff.
It is heavy, but remember, Hill doesn't just present us with a list of fears to scare us, he provides strategies for overcoming them.
So he shows us the monsters under the bed and then helps us figure out how to shine a light on them so they can't scare us anymore.
I love that analogy. He emphasizes that we all have fears, but we have the power to choose how we respond to them. We don't have to be ruled by them. We can face them, challenge them, and ultimately transcend them.
It's a reminder that true courage isn't the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. And that brings us back to one of Hill's core principles, decisiveness. He repeatedly argues that successful people are decisive, they make choices and commit to them.
They don't get stuck in analysis paralysis or endless second-guessing. They move forward with confidence.
And, as we're talking about all these principles, I can't help but think about Hill's own journey in writing Think and Grow Rich. It took him years of research and interviews, facing skepticism and rejection along the way.
His own story is a testament to the very principles he writes about persistence, belief, and unwavering commitment to his vision.
He truly embodied the Think and Grow Rich philosophy, and because of that, his book has become one of the most influential self-help books of all time, inspiring millions to achieve their dreams.
It's a reminder that our own thoughts and beliefs have the power to shape our reality, and that even when we face challenges or setbacks, we have the inner strength to overcome them and create the lives we desire. It's a message of hope and empowerment.
So to wrap things up, Think and Grow Rich is more than just a self-help book. It's a philosophy, a guide to cultivating a success mindset. It challenges us to take control of our thoughts, believe in ourselves, persist through challenges, overcome our fears, be decisive, and use our energy wisely.
And while some of Hill's language and examples might feel a bit dated, the core messages are timeless and incredibly relevant in today's world.
Absolutely. If you're serious about achieving your goals, whether they're financial, creative, or personal, this book is a must-read.
And if you're looking for additional resources, courses, and ebooks to further your learning, be sure to visit lingopediamagazine.com/whatever. They've got a treasure trove of information to help you put these principles into action.
Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like this deep dive if you found it helpful. Let us know in the comments what resonated with you the most and what you'd like to explore further.
Until next time, keep thinking big and keep growing.